Hi there, my name is Eric from Vantage Drones, and today we are doing an unboxing video for the DJI Mavic 3M. It's a AGRIS and an enterprise level drone that you can use for mapping, for multispectral imaging, a whole bunch of different things. So we'll show you everything from unboxing, how to set up that drone for use, and how to eventually fly it in another video. So if you have not already done so, make sure to like and subscribe to follow us for more content of education, how-tos, unboxing, reviews, that sort of thing. So we're going to get into it right now. So once you receive your drone, it's going to come in a box like this. So just opening it up, there's going to be a sticker on top that says void if damaged. So all drones should come with an intact sticker indicating that it hasn't been tampered with from arrival. So open it up. Inside the box, it comes with a nice carrying case. So we'll just pull that right out. Throw that to the side there. So pretty much not a whole lot to it. It's all going to have everything already to go. On the back of the case, it does have your SIN number identification, which is important for when you're setting up, but not a whole lot to it for setting up these drones besides the updating and process. But inside the drone case itself, you have your drone, controller, charger, different various cables. Inside as well, we'll have your manual as well as spare parts all ready to go. So we can first start with taking the drone out. Inside the case itself is going to have your drone, and as you can see, it does not have its propellers on yet. Which is something that we'll have to install, which is very easy to do. But I'm going to just start by unfolding the drone to start. Starting with the top one. So the top propellers, or the forward-facing propellers, are the ones with the extended landing gear. Then the back you unfold down. So again, pushing forward, this rotates down, and now you're ready. This is your protective cover for the gimbal and the screen here. There's also this little foam right here as well that can be now removed so that it has full mobility with that. There's plastic bits protecting some of the different components here. That can all be removed at this time, so it's not going to impede any movement of your gimbal and of the different components here. So on the side here is where you have your battery. You can just pull that out to change out your batteries nice and quickly. If you do order extra batteries, then you can always have some charged, but it comes standard with one. But there is a procedure to actually firing up the battery for the first time, because right now if I click the button, nothing's going to happen. There is actually a procedure that it has to follow in order to activate that battery. But first we're going to start with adding the propellers. So that's going to be right in this side compartment here. We have B, A, and an extra set. So each kit's going to come with extra propellers, but you will need 2 B's and 2 A's to get started. And on the package themselves, it kind of indicates where they go, because they do have a certain orientation in order for it to fly properly. So with the A here, you can see just in the diagram, if the drone is on the ground here facing this way, that you have A here and here, and then B here and here. So to start, we'll add our B. So that's going to go right here. there's these little grooves right here on the propeller itself, and that matches up with the grooves on the drone as well. So all you have to do is just line them up and then rotate into place. And then we can also start with an A here. So again, grooves right here on the drone propeller itself. There we go. Again, so this is A. So A is going to be opposite to A. Just following the diagram. So if you ever had to replace propellers in the field, it's very simple to do. Just essentially you go out and pop the propellers off, and then you'll be good to go again. So that's that. Now the drone has been set up. Technically you could start getting it going, but there is some different steps that are involved with getting it actually fired up. So here's the controller. We can remove the screen here. Unfold. So you'll notice the joysticks are missing. They're actually not missing. They're just tucked away in the back here, nice and neatly. So all you have to do is just pull those out, and then they just screw. They're threaded, so you just screw them directly onto the joystick here. And again, right here. And now we can fire it up. So now that you have the drone and the charger all set up, now it's time to activate the batteries and start charging them. So each kit will come with a charger here on the side. It'll say C1, C2, as well as a plug-in port, which is right here. It does come with one USB-C to USB-C. So this is a USB-C charger. So to make things a little bit easier, if you do have a second USB-C cord, then you can have both the drone and the battery, or the battery and the controller charging at the same time. So to set that up, you'll just grab your power cord from inside your case. You're going to plug it in to your USB-C charger, and then that can then be plugged into a power source over here. Then you can take one of your USB-Cs, put that into number one, and plug it into the drone. So to charge your battery that's connected to the drone, there's a little flap just above where the battery connects in. Pull that up. This is where you can also access your SD card to pull data and images off. Then you just plug that into here. Give that a moment, and now you can see that it's starting to charge. So this battery has now been activated. So it's for transport and longevity of the battery, they're normally stored around 50-60%. That's the optimal point. So that's the charge that they come at, and they need to come to full charge before you can fly it. Doesn't take very long, but that is how you activate your battery. So now that it's activated, you can see that it's charging, and now we can do the same thing for our controller. So same idea. You can also come here, grab your other USB-C to USB-C cord, and then you're going to plug that into the bottom center of the controller right here. Once that does that, give it a moment. And there's 3 little LED lights on the top of this controller for you to, in order to activate that. So now both are charging. You can let that kind of sit in the background, or for the controller itself, you are able to turn it on for the first time and start that activation, start the updating process, which can take a little bit of time depending on your internet speeds. To turn on a controller and to turn on a drone, it's always fast click, long click. So it's a 2-click kind of sequence, as well as for turning off. So if you click it just once, then it's going to show the charge level. but that double click with the extended hold on the second click is how you turn on and turn off any DJI product. So now we can move over to viewing the screen and actually go through the setup process of the controller itself. All right, so now that we have our controller activated and ready to go, or I shouldn't say activated, the battery has been activated. We actually have to still activate the unit itself. You're gonna have this first screen here. You can select your language of preference, press next. There's your terms of use. So reading through these is always recommended. It's a bit of a read though, so we'll press agree. And then we can move on to our Wi-Fi network here. Entering in any passwords. Once it's connected to Wi-Fi, then you click next. And add your time zone. So we are located in Manitoba, so we are Central Time. So once you have everything all set up with your login credentials, which is the same credentials that you would use for any sort of account with DJI, it doesn't matter if it's Agris, Enterprise, Consumer, you name it, it's the same account login for everything. You'll enter in your password and then you should be able to click login. And then that's when you can actually activate the drone. So once you activate the device, it will be linked to my account for warranty. Then you can choose to join the DJI improvement project. Basically just as things happen, it'll just send logs and things like that. So that's very helpful. But then once you're logged in, then you can click start. It'll kind of go over some of the overview of what the buttons do, how to do different functions with this controller, this model here. And then you can get into the app. So the DJI Pilot 2 app is the app that the DJI Mavic 3 ends up using. Has other terms of use that you can agree to, privacy notice, maintenance notice, and then it'll kind of give that authorization for memory card location, that sort of thing. And then it also gets into your network. So it's connecting to the internet, that kind of thing, RTK. So we press OK. And then join the improvement process. So once you're in, this is where you can actually access to check for firmware and things like that, which is within DJI Care. So right now it's coming up where remote control firmware update is needed. So we can go to DJI Care, as well as linking to your aircraft kind of thing. So accept all. And this is where you can actually activate your DJI Care, which is your warranty, which you have to do within, I think, 48 hours of actually getting your drone activated, kind of thing. So then we click on your updates here. So it does say that we do need to update the controller here, which is pretty standard from when it comes out of the box. Click update all devices. So normally that first update is going to be quite sizable, so it does take a little bit of time. So that's why we recommend kind of doing it right away and then just letting it sit and do its thing. It does also help to connect your drone as well at this time, because it will also be needing some updates, but it will do it one at a time. So we're going to let the drone charge and go ahead and start updating our controller. So once it's finished downloading, then it will actually go into the actual updating process. So it does take some extra time. So it first has to download and then it will actually go with the install. So once it starts, comes to the final portion of the installing, it's going to restart itself on its own. So I just have to kind of give it a few moments there. So it is a bit of a prolonged process of updating, but once it's all done, it'll restart. Press OK. Ask us all the same questions as before. And now it's all fully updated. So now, if you haven't already done so, we can go and link the aircraft. So on the drone itself, you're going to click the button once, twice, and it'll start its firing up process, where you'll see the propellers, they'll start to wiggle and move. Don't freak out, they're not going to turn on. And now that the drone is fired up, it's going to start connecting to the controller itself. So again, this is when you actually activate the drone. Once it's activated is the time that your warranty period starts. So from activation, so it has just terms of use agreements, and it's going to bound you to that. And again, once you activate it is when your warranty period starts. So if you're a new dealer and you're selling these drones for the first time, do not activate them until it's time for that customer to actually pick that drone up that day. So we do offer setup for our customers. We do not activate until you pick up that drone that day, and that's also made clear to our customers as well, saying we will activate this for you if you would like, and then or they can choose to just take it home, sit on it, and then activate it at a later date once they're ready to get started. A lot of farmers that are buying agris drones, they might buy it in the winter, but they don't activate it until the spring when they actually start spraying, kind of thing. Same idea for the Mavic, but yeah. So next, you can pick your industry. So if you're using this for agris, for like NDVI, that sort of thing, you would just select others. If you're doing surveying, energy, public safety, you name it, kind of thing. So there's all kinds of different things that you can select here. Environmental management, education, others, mining. So for us, we're largely tied in with agriculture. This drone is going to be used for agriculture, so we'll click next. We're just confirming our account information. Erica Clean Water Pro is my account information. I click activate, and it will be now tied to my account, kind of thing. So then it's going to ask to restart the aircraft. Quick little click of the button, and it's all going to do it on its own, kind of thing. Now that the aircraft has been activated, that's where we have our DJI Care Enterprise basic kind of thing. If you have already purchased that, then you can also click bind and then add that to yourself into the drone itself, which we can do at a later time. So once that's all been completed, we have our terms and conditions, has our aircraft, remote control, both those SIN numbers, which have been blacked out here, but we have all our information here. I click bind, and we're letting it bind. I should mention, when we're doing this process, it is important to have really good battery life for the drone, because you do not want it to all of a sudden turn off for whatever reason due to low battery. Same with when you're doing an update. So I like to generally have a decent charge on the system, because as I had mentioned, for the updating process, it can take a while for the drone and the controller to be fully updated. So it's just something that we like to kind of prolong a little bit if we can. So once it's been bound, then you can go into actually updating the drone itself. So it'll have basically different updates available, aircraft, battery, that sort of thing. So update all devices, and again, it's just a bit of a waiting period for that. It needs to download and then actually install. So we're just going to let that do its thing and then come back. So again, now that it's done downloading, it will now install all those updates. So just another few minutes once that's done. Once it does finish doing the installs, it's going to get to a certain point where it's just going to restart everything again. You can tell that it's being transferred to the aircraft based on the color lights that you can see here and here. They'll be flinking yellow, and they'll change colors and do different things. You might see the props move for whatever reason. It's just the process of them updating and doing whatever they need to do. There's lots of different components that may be getting updates within the drone itself, which I'm not sure everything that there is, but there's different accessories for different drones that you can get as well that might need updatings, such as like in the enterprise field with the Matrice 400, they have different payloads, so each of those payloads could have updates as well. In the agris world with the sprayer drones, the spreading system or the spraying system or the payload system with the new T100 and T70 also have separate updates that can occur for each of those kind of modules and things. And that's just a few examples. There's all kinds of different scenarios where an update might be needed. So now that it's been fully updated, it's going to move on to the next kind of segment of it. You can notice that the lights have now changed on the drone, so it's just kind of doing its thing. It's been fully uploaded, so now it's installing it, doing whatever it needs to. It's generally a pretty quick process, especially with this update. It's only 400 megabytes compared to the controller, which was 1.3 gigabytes, so it doesn't take nearly as long for the aircraft, but that all depends on your aircraft and the amount of data that needs to be transferred and installed. So now that it's updating, the aircraft just restarted, and it should finish up pretty quickly here. Sometimes it doesn't go all the way to 100%. It'll say 70 and then it'll just be done kind of thing. And some updates do require the aircraft to restart a couple times as well, for different reasons. So right now the aircraft is going through another restart for finishing up this update here, but just stay patient with it. That's normal, and it'll be done in no time.
Home point updated. Check map to confirm.
So it looks like that is that for that. Now it's fully updated. Okay, now we can see that everything is all up to date. The batteries themselves also do sometimes need updates. But yeah, so now that that's done, it is technically ready to fly. So there are going to be warnings. That's just because we're indoors right now, most likely. But kind of go through, it'll have all the details for the warning. But now that it's all done, it's ready to fly. So now that it's been fully unboxed, updated, it's now ready to fly, which we will do in another video. So thank you very much for joining us today. If you have not already done so, make sure to like and subscribe to follow us for more content. We will be showing how to take your drone out for the first flight, some basic information, and then as well as some mapping missions at a later video. So thank you very much. We hope that you enjoyed that, and we'll catch you next time.